they found a pair of deep footprints in the mud. And this ain't no animal print. It wasn't even human. It was something in between. They thought it was a prank. But when the prints circled a home where a hunter vanished weeks earlier, they knew they were dealing with something that had come for them next. It all started with the footprints. Not animal prints, not human, something in between. Deep, wide, and ending in claws. The villagers thought it was a prank, someone playing a sick joke. But when the prints circled a home where a hunter disappeared weeks earlier, they knew they were dealing with something that had come for them next. He was a young man, barely 20, exploring the jungle for the first time. His parents warned him about going too far, told him stories of strange things in the old riverbed and the thick trees. But a boy's gotta do what a boy's gotta do, so he went anyways. That was 4 weeks ago. Now the only thing found was an abandoned backpack and a haversack full of undisturbed food. No blood, no bones, no sign of struggle. Just an unsettling, quiet where the boy should have been. They searched for days, but that led to nothing. The family eventually gave up, assuming he'd run off with some girl or joined some city gang. But last night, they heard heavy breathing in the trees outside their home. A few branches cracked where no one stood, and when morning came, they found these 6 deep footprints in the mud, each step overlapping the other, making a circle around their house. Then the ground rose and dipped in a way that made no sense. It looked like whoever made these tracks had suddenly jumped into the air. When the townspeople called for help, a rescue team arrived. They were experienced trackers, men who lived for combing the wilderness for signs and meaning. When they heard the story, they knew they had a mystery on their hands. Then came the eyewitness. A traveler swore he'd seen a tall, shadowy figure walking upright near the old riverbed. He said it looked like a man, though his arms hung low and his head was tilted at an unnatural angle. But it was the way the thing moved that chilled him to the bone. Its back rippled as if something was crawling under its skin. The team followed the tracks into the thickest part of the forest. Here, the birds stopped singing. Even the monkeys went silent. All around them, the jungle watched in tense anticipation. After hours of walking, they finally found something. A series of claw marks shredded into tree trunks 6 feet up. Each swipe was clean, precise, and ripped like paper. But that wasn't all. Stuck on a nearby thorn bush was a strip of faded military cloth, torn and tattered, almost entirely lost to time. But one thing remained, a name tag reading Miller, John Miller. The rescuers didn't know it then, but they would soon find out that John had been a medic stationed at an isolated outpost during the war. He'd come to this jungle searching for herbs to treat malaria. What he found instead nearly drove him insane. One of the rescuers leaned in, his voice barely a whisper. "This jungle remembers." The others didn't respond. They just kept walking. Deeper in, they found more claw marks, this time fresher, gouged into the bark just inches from the ground. The jungle itself seemed to recoil at the sight. Vines snapped, leaves rustled, but nothing fell. It was as if the forest was holding its breath. Following the tracks, they arrived at a small clearing. Inside was a collection of crude stone tools, broken and lost to time. A half-bared skull picked clean by insects and a single bone that was once a finger. The rescuers felt a chill. This was no ordinary place. It was a place of power, pain, and memories best forgotten. As night fell, they camped. But none of them slept. The sound of dragging breath circled their camp. Once, twice, again. But when they shined their lights, there was nothing. No eyes, no shadow, just the jungle watching back. In the morning, they found more claw marks just feet from where they slept. One of the rescuers found his machete gone. In its place, a handprint in the mud. 5 fingers and one long, curved slash where the palm should be. It was then that they decided to turn back. As they started to leave, the forest seemed to stir. The trees they had marked were clean, stripped of any identifying features. The jungle had shifted somehow, or something had changed it. Suddenly, they saw it. Not clearly, just movement. Tall, grayish skin, walking on 2 legs, but not quite human. Its spine looked broken, in places. Its arms hung down to its knees. They froze. This was the closest they'd gotten to whatever had made those tracks, and they couldn't risk a direct confrontation. Then it paused, as if listening, turned its head fully backward, and disappeared into the mist. The rescuers didn't chase. They didn't speak. They just walked until they hit sunlight. When they returned to the village, they said nothing, just handed over the cloth, the sketches of prints, and left. Weeks later, another set of prints appeared. Closer to the village, the locals panicked. Was it back? Had it been watching them? The travelers who combed the area found no tracks, no sign of the creature. The only evidence was a new set of footprints, deeper and wider than before. Children say they still hear footsteps at night, slow, dragging, patient. As the years passed, the jungle grew thicker. The tracks faded, the whispers died down. But every now and then, when the moon is full and the night is still, the villagers hear the sound of dragging footsteps near the old riverbed, a reminder that some things are better left undisturbed, that some secrets are best kept hidden, and that some creatures are best left forgotten. If you hear a dragging sound at night, stop and listen. You might just be hearing the jungle trying to tell you to stay away. If you ever see a creature walking like a man, run, don't turn back, just run. Because if you do, you might see what's waiting in the shadows. Look for the claws. That's how you know it remembers what it once was and what it might become again. Some things are best left undiscovered. Some memories best left buried. So if you ever hear a dragging sound in the jungle, remember what the footprints tell you. Stay away. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel, Jungle Echoes, Rescue and Mystery, for more terrifying tales the jungle refuses to hide. See you next time.